In the vast, frozen expanse of the coldest ocean, where towering glaciers stand like silent sentinels and icy waves crash against the frozen shores, life battles against the relentless cold. The wind howls across the water, carrying the distant cries of seabirds soaring above. Beneath the surface, creatures adapted to the unforgiving chill move unseen, their lives shaped by the merciless sea. Amidst this frozen wilderness, a wounded starfish drifted through the frigid waters. Several of its arms were torn and bruised, and the bitter cold had slowed its every movement. The relentless current pushed the fragile creature toward the icy shoreline, where it eventually washed up, half buried in slush and snow, still clinging to life. Above, a rescue ship patrolled the frozen waters, its crew clad in bright red jackets scanning the vast, snowy expanse with binoculars. One of the rescuers noticed a strange, faint shape lying near the shore, a splash of color against the pale ice. When they realized it was a starfish, barely alive, urgency surged through the team. Without hesitation, they boarded a small rescue boat and set out across the frozen sea. The air bit at their skin and the waves rocked their vessel, but their determination drove them forward. Reaching the shore, they gently scooped up the injured starfish, treating it with great care despite its small size. On board, the team quickly cleaned off the ice, carefully tended to the wounds on its limbs, and placed the starfish in a specially prepared tank of temperature-controlled seawater. Though it showed no dramatic gestures, there was life in the tiny movements of its arms, a quiet resilience beneath its simple form. As the starfish stabilized, they returned it to the sea, gently lowering it into the cold water. It clung briefly to the rescuer's gloved hand before slowly drifting down, back to the seafloor where it belonged. There was no leap, no sound, but in that stillness was a deep, silent bond. Back aboard the ship, as the crew warmed their hands and shared quiet smiles, they looked out over the ice. For a while, nothing stirred. Then, just beneath the surface, they glimpsed a faint shape resting peacefully on a rock. The starfish had returned, as if to say one final goodbye. It stayed there a moment longer before the sea claimed it once more. In that vast, frozen wilderness, the rescue of one small starfish may have seemed like a tiny act. But to the crew, it was a reminder that every life matters, no matter how small, and that even the quietest rescues can leave the loudest echoes in the heart.